Oi, oi. Yes, it's me. I haven't done one in a bit. I started wanting to get on the equipment, kept coming in, looking at it, kept coming in, looking at it. Because I really do enjoy doing this. So here we are in sunny Florida. I do this for a living. And I have got a certification in counselling. So this one goes out to the class of 2024. Got the graduation thing going on with my youngest daughter tomorrow. It'll be my last one in high school. So well done, all those guys out there that are graduating, probably through the week. I'm not sure if it goes on through the week or whether it's just the one day. But I know I've heard of others that have just gone through the graduation already. So well done, because that is not an easy task. And it brings me to the subject of what I want to talk about, which is all about doing that prep. The mise en place, as we used to say in the kitchens. Because without the prep, you ain't got much more. Prep has to be done. So grab yourself a nice cup of coffee, nice cup of tea. I've got a nice cup of tea going here. Lovely jubbly. Let me pull it over towards myself. If you hear me screaming, I've spilt it. Right? It's like, uh-oh. Whenever I do something like that, I'm always, especially around computers, because my wife's always like, yeah, don't get like liquid near it, and you know, you're gonna end up buggering it up, and oh Lord, all right. So I'm always like really dubious. So me pulling that pad, because I've got it on one of those like, you know, what do you call them, coasters, yeah. And I just dragged it across my way, and I thought, oh, I'm dragging it towards the computer. Oh, shit, I didn't even think. I just looked over at my damn podcasting soundboard and thought, oh, yeah, I'm pulling it towards that too. Oh, yeah, sensible. Yeah. Anyway, big shout out to the class of 2024, eh? Oi, oi. Yeah, a lot of, you know, I had this conversation with my daughter a little while ago, my oldest daughter, standing in the garage this one day and we're watching a storm come in. And I remember talking to her about, you know, the early ages of how I was brought up around her age, you know, when it was getting in. I mean, she was older, but we was talking about when they're around 14, 15 years old and the amount of pressure that gets put on them to be able to perform. And it really is. There's a lot of pressure that gets put on them. And, you know, I remember saying to my oldest, geez, 14. I can't even think what I was doing. I sure didn't have my mind on like university or nothing like that, college or nothing like that. Shit. But the amount of pressure that gets put on them, and then when you're a parent, you get wrapped into that because it's the whole, right? It's the society that's dictating it. And, you know, the only thing I work on is not trying to push where you're going, oh, you make a lot of money in that, because that's what everybody says, right? Oh, yeah, you make a lot of money in that. I mean, if you get into the career that does that, great, you know. I mean, I happened to go into chefing, and, you know, that didn't make much money, but you actually worked your bleeding bollocks off. You worked your bollocks off for hardly anything, and it was for the love of the job, and I did love it. I mean, I ain't going to lie, I did. But yeah, big shout out to the kids out there, you know, doing the old graduation. I'm proud of all of you, and my youngest daughter Gabby's mates. Proud of ya, real proud of ya. You know, that there's a couple of them out there that we treat like our own kids. When they come in here, it's like, yeah, you want grub, you want dinner, right? Yeah, hang about, and we'll sort you out. And yeah, friggin', it's great. It's great having them around. They're like our own. We play bleeding bocce ball in the backyard, and yeah, we have a laugh. We have a good laugh. And because they're put under enough pressure, it is. They don't need freaking pressure from us as well. And I know it happens out there. I know it happens, and it puts these kids under a lot of freaking pressure. So, you know, they got enough. It's better to, you know, support than be resented. Right? support, you know, point in the right directions. And if somebody's got a talent, you know, like look at that and be involved in that and take an interest in that. And, you know, oh, what's all that about? Teach me, you know, and get them involved, get them interested in something. It's not about looking at their talent and going, I think you'll be better off over here. Because you can get wrapped up into that. I mean, I did in the early stages, I tell you, because again, it's the whole, right? It's the whole, what it dictates. But anyway, I want to talk about the subject because I've kind of gone off bit subject there about prep. But it comes into it, right? The amount of prep that's done with these kids and the directions they want to go in careers. And, you know, I happen to be very, very lucky, and I've got two beautiful daughters that are in a direction of where they want to go. And my oldest daughter's already, you know, she's in UCF now. She's already done a couple of years at college-wise, and she's in UCF now, which is banging. And now I've got my youngest on that journey, starting her own journey. And, you know, there's a lot of prep that goes into that, not only from the kids, but from the parents too. You know, don't forget yourselves, parents, right? There's a lot of prep that goes on in the background of that, and how, you know, what you have to do as a parent. And, you know, I like to think that I support my kids. Don't get me wrong, right? Shit, I'm not bulletproof, right? I know I've screwed up here and there for sure. But I like to think of myself as trying to, you know, working on being a better dad, especially since I've been on this journey. And that comes with prep. It comes with, you know, if you don't do the prep, then you know, where are you? It's like the mise en place in a kitchen. If you don't do the prep in the kitchen, you ain't got anything. And it takes a team. It takes a team. So don't forget your team. Don't forget the team around you that do that prep, because they're the ones that pick you up and support you. So don't forget that. I started out when I first got a taste of kitchens, I was actually pot washing, and I was doing the plate room as well on my own, just cleaning parts. It was in a place called the British School of Osteopathy. Big shout to that place if it's still there. I don't even know if it's still there in London. Just right off of Charing Cross Station, not far from there. And yeah, I used to wash pots and shit, so I know what all that is. So when I got into kitchens and I started at the bottom, you know, as a commie chefing, but I looked at the guys that were doing the pots and the plates and shit like that, and I got in with them, and basically let them know as well that I've been here, I know what it is, and I tell you what, you know, when you're talking about prep, right? When you want certain things and you could give them the nod, boy oh boy. Don't ever underestimate the people that you got some kind of, I don't know, judgment on because you believe that they're below or something, because they're not. I got here by starting off somewhere. And so the prep in the kitchen takes teamwork. It's, you know, service time doesn't come around. It's like a well-oiled machine. And if that well-oiled machine all of a sudden has a cog that's a bit loose or something, and the prep hasn't been done, all of a sudden there's a problem. There's a problem in the whole freaking system, because the whole system can go to shit, especially when service hits. You've only got to have something that hasn't been oiled up properly, right? As far as preparation goes, prepping your mind, you know, it doesn't just come down to the actual physical thing of dicing and slicing and one thing or the other there. It comes down to the preparation in your mind. It comes down to the preparation of the team. Are the team coming together okay? Is everybody communicating correctly? It's teamwork. It doesn't come down to one individual. Everybody seems to give the big cheese, the executive chefs, all the praise and shit, but it comes down to the guys that do all the prep work. So don't forget your prep work, guys, right? If you want to go in a certain direction, if you want to move in a certain direction, do the prep. And don't look at the prep as a bad thing. Look at the prep as the steps towards the end goal. It's just like, look at a dish that you're done, right? The dish, a dish of food doesn't get there by mistake. There's a lot of prep that goes into that before you get there and eat it. So look at something like the end result of what you're looking for is like the end result. But you got to start off with a recipe. And then you start off with a recipe and you put that recipe in the right order and put the right pieces together. Yeah, sometimes there's mistakes made. Sometimes you have to throw something out and start again. Sometimes you can add something in which kind of picks it up and makes it better. Look at it like that. Because, again, it's doing the prep, doing the meditations, using your tools, getting yourself to therapy. It's the preparation for the mind. And I know when we were going into the service, I worked in an a la carte place in the House of Commons, and I was working in a la carte kitchen in there. And, the old head waiter had this ability of bringing them all in at the same time, even though they were scattered. God knows how that used to happen. Because we would I can't remember what time we'd open doors. I think it was like 6:30 in the evening. Bearing in mind there was a lunch service as well. So there was like lunch prep, early morning prep, lunch prep if we had to. A lot of the morning got the prep done for the evening too, and then it was game on in the evening. And, the doors would open and we're scratching our head because we'd go out and look at the books. And then we might be absolutely slammed. Like when you see the people, the tables going off the end of the book, it's like, oh, shit, we're going to get mullered. Game on. Here we go. Oh, mate. Yeah. But then we'd be standing there and you're looking at your team, right? Because it used to be like, I think there was 1, 2, 3, there was like 4 in this a la carte kitchen. And we did everything from frigging steaks and smoked salmon and different types of fish and right. And we're looking at each other and we'll be like, I remember we used to go out there and go, you bringing them in? I remember I can see the guy as clear as like, you bringing them in? Like it's like you prep for it, you get ready for it, right? And then sometimes there's those things that will get in the way of that preparation, right? You're expecting a certain thing. Let go of the expectations. Let go of the expectations and then you won't be disappointed, right? We knew this. We'd prep. We'd do our prep. We'd get up ready for that time. But we always knew this. Whenever we was going to get mullered, they would all come in at the same time. He'd bring them in all at the same time. And we knew this. So why did we always keep expecting something different? We kept on complaining about it. What's the point? Right? Either find a solution or move around. Keep doing your prep. Keep doing your prep. You don't go and run a marathon on the day after you decide that you want to run a marathon. You do your prep. Now, take pride in the prep. Because if you take pride and you love the prep, don't keep looking at the goal and wanting to jump the steps to get there. Rely on your prep. Because I know when we used to have a proper prep in the kitchen, when we was properly mise en place and we were ready to go and all our shit was lined up, we knew there was no mistake there. Right? Because we had our prep done properly. It was there, ready, lined up. We knew our menu. Each one of us knows how to feed off of each other. We know the speed, how the kitchen's going to be controlled, who's doing the envoying, who's, we knew. We were ready. And that's having good prep. It's using your tools, especially when it comes into with the mental health. There's so much importance in using your tools. You don't give up on your meditation. Yes, there is some days when you're like, I really don't want to meditate. I get it. I've been there many times. many times I've been there where I've gone, I really don't feel like, doing. But you know what? Shit. It's what the medicine is. It's part of those preps. It's doing the preparations. I need to take a drop of tea. Excuse me a minute. Oh, that's better. There's nothing like a nice bleeding fresh rosy, mate. I tell you what, get that down the old freaking Gregory, mate. Lovely jubbly. Anyway, so there's nothing like having good prep, doing your prep. So when it comes to down to mental health as well, like, you know, if you know that you're going to be going into a situation that may cause, you know, a bit of anger or some anxiety, you know, there might be people there you don't know, or you might have social anxiety and you know that your anxiety is going to be a little bit dodgy, but it's something that you want to go to, i.e., let's take the graduation, right? You know, I look on yes, there's going to be a lot of people there. Yes, there's people probably going to be sitting with us and shit. And, you know, I could let my anxiety go to that, but I'm more focused on the actual joy of it. You know, my daughter getting graduating and moving on to the new journey, that bit, and not focusing on the rest of it. And I'm doing the prep now. I'm doing the prep now. Like, and we're leaving tomorrow early morning. So I got it sorted out in my missus, like what time we out the door? Because give me an out the door time and then I can do the prep. I work backwards from there. Like when I'm getting up, what I'm doing when, bosh, and I'll be ready. Shoes on, ready to march out the door. Just give me an end date and then I'll freaking do the prep. I'll do the rest. But yeah, I could focus on, oh shit, there's going to be people there I don't know. It's in a big auditorium. You know, what we're going to do, what we're doing after, how we're going to... I could focus on all that and make my anxiety go a bit bleeding loop bolt, but it's not about me. It's about my daughter. It's not about me. It's about me being there, supporting, is what it's about. And that's where you start to focus on the pleasures of what's going on, being present with what's going on, listening to what's going on, taking part in what's going on, cheering it on, not worrying about other people, cheering my daughter on. Doing the prep is what it takes. And that refocusing is part of the prep. It's part of the PPA, positive progressive actions. The preparation. If you haven't got the proper preparation and you're coming up and doing a kitchen service, see what happens to the chef that hasn't got that prep done. Right? Or someone's forgotten or something. Holy shit. You might as well roll your knives up. Excuse me. You might as well roll your knives up. Don't come in the next morning. Bloody hell. Face that shift. Doing the right thing and doing the right prep is important. And that also goes, you know, with life. Which direction do you want to go? What kind of preparations are you going to do to get there? What's the prep? Have you got fitness goals that you want to do? Have you got dietary goals that you want to do? What's the prep? What's the steps? What's the preparations that you can do right now? Right now. Do the prep. Do the prep. When you're when you want to get like focused on a menu and you want to see how much you can do ahead of time, you do the prep that the time allows you. So you don't want to go like, you know, unless you soak them in bleeding, what was that called, that shit? Diamond white or something, which was it was like a powder, or lemon, like potatoes. If you're chopping up a whole bunch of potatoes, yeah, you can keep them for a bit, but, you know, there comes a point when if you're using an acid, it's going to start breaking it down. You know, you're risking a chance of it not being the correct solution to where they're not staying white, right? So you want to, you time it, time your prep. Don't go all in, all bam, straight at once. When you think about your prep and you're looking at it all in one big hole, like a bam, you're going to go into overload. You're really going to go into overload and overwhelm. Write it out, plan the preparations. Using the, you know, every single thing that you do is part of that preparation. Go and check me out, guys. I'm on YouTube. Go and check out my channel on there. Please get me out there. Go and subscribe and give me a like and all that lovely stuff, please, on my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it. You can go to my link tree on here as well, down at the bottom. You can get a hold of me across all the platforms if you want to stretch out and do one-on-one. That's what I do for a living. I'd love to help somebody work on their mind. I really do enjoy what I do. And a great big shout out again to that class, 2024. You did it, you're there. Now what's your next steps forward? Much love to all you guys too out there that support me and give me that love. Keep it coming, because I tell you what, it has an effect, guys. It has an effect. When you get that little bit of a message of you've done something for somebody, it bloody helps, let me tell you. So go and check me out, guys. YouTube on Sundays, I do a thing at 11 a.m. every Sunday on Eastern Time, and go and check me out on Beckett at 1 p.m. Friday. Thanks, guys, for listening.